As the time for our general election draws closer, politicians are stepping up on their campaign. The Challenge, a 15-minute program aired on this station starting from this Wednesday, October 18th, right up until the day before elections. The Challenge will indeed highlight the various politicians participating in the next general election. Focus will be placed on their profiles and intentions after election if voted into office. So look out for The Challenge on this station. The Challenge is a production of General Services of Grenada. General Services of Grenada, since 1987, also produces The Challenge magazine, the only 8.5 by 11 full-colored glossy 32 pages magazine on this island. Look out for the special Christmas publication, also the Heartbeat of Christmas television program starting November 1st on this station, and not forgetting 104.5 Love FM, coming back soon with a bang. Welcome to The Challenge. Now this is the program on this station that highlights the politicians who are going to participate in this upcoming general election. Today sitting with me is Mr. Washinton Martin Edwards. He is the founder and leader of the Renaissance Party. Welcome, Mr. Edwards.
Thank you very much, sir.
Mr. Edwards, to begin with, I just want to ask you, how long have you been involved in politics?
Well, basically, since I was small, I was always interested in that area. And basically, I see that there are plenty of things that should be included in our political system and is not. Most of all, I would say that our politicians are not politicians. First, they do not discuss policies. All they do is discuss personal things about each other, which has nothing to do with politics. Therefore, our system of politics is corrupted. And we need a pure system of politics whereby people will understand what they are voting for. 90% of the people on Grenada do not know why they are voting. They just have an emotion to vote for a party or a person. And the person sells themselves, and because they sell themselves, to them they think, well, that's it. But that's far from it. Politics is policy making. How do you spend our tax money? That is what politics is all about.
So now that you have discovered that very important aspect, you have come in to change that.
Definitely.
And so before we go on further, let me ask you, what is your background? Where did you go to school, and what profession have you been involved in? So people will know who Mr. Washinton really is.
Basically, I started school in the Hartwell RC School. Then from that, I went to the Senior Roman Catholic Boys School, where I think I get the best sort of education and discipline. As such, it is where I was motivated to learn and to further my education. And basically, from that, I went to the United Kingdom, where I did study. I worked in industries for 6 months. Then I went into agriculture, where I worked in the farms for a few years. And then after this training, I went to the Agriculture College. I was one of the 4 representative agriculturists going to the United States to represent England. And then when we were there, we had to be on farms for a few months before we went to the Extension University of the University of Minnesota. And that's basically where I actually do the, I would say, the theory in agriculture. From that, I branched off to do Constitution, which is Constitution history. I did history generally, and from that, because I did world history, that was much too wide for me. They told me, I was advised by the provost of the university, that is Dr. Wright, who was my professor, and then told me I have to choose either country or take Constitution. Then I took Constitution. So obviously I did Constitution there and graduated in 1274, and 2 of us from that university graduated at that university at the time. The reason that many others did not graduate with that degree is because most of them could not have passed the criminal law course, so cannot obtain the Constitution degree without a criminal law. At the university, I graduated in 1274 with Constitution history. And from that, then I returned to Grenada, established a Racing Club. And then, anyways, the Racing Club, then we are able to raise some funds to send 2 children to primary school. In those days, I had to pay to go to primary school. The Racing Club was able to do that for them. And obviously, I went to the United States also to further my studies. Whilst following my studies in public administration, I taught at various public schools in the United States, teaching biology and general science along with math. And then while I was doing a course in public administration, I had to work in different government agencies, and from there I continued teaching, and also when I did constitution history, not constitution but public administration, that's where I was become qualified as a politician. So I was able to qualify both in that and in political science. So obviously I'm quite equipped to do the work which these politicians can do. They actually, our politicians here do not know anything about administration, and administration is one of the key points in politics.
Very, very extensive indeed. And not only extensive, but you have diversified in so many different fields, from agriculture to history, public administration. So, even law, civil law, criminal law, the Constitution. I believe that you have it under your belt. What is required, prerequisite for someone to be qualified to be a politician. But apart from that, I always hear people, the older folks talk about one of the qualifications for love and to be a politician is love for people. Tell me, Mr. Washinton, how close are you to people, especially in your constituency and by extension in Grenada? How do you see yourself from 2003 to now? How do you see yourself as it relates to being able to get the people under your wings, or to listen to what you have to say and their response?
But basically, since I returned to Grenada, I've had a monthly program, MTV, and actually teaching the people the inequalities and ineffectiveness of our government, both the NNP and NDC parties. So many people have learned tremendously about around the island. Everyone welcomed me for the things I've taught them that no other one has done and is doing. So therefore, throughout Grenada, I'm known for teaching them the things that are not taught by our politicians.
Well, yes, I can attest to that. In fact, you had a program on my radio station at one time, and I looked at you on MTV from time to time. So I know you do some work via the media. In terms of the groundwork, have you been interacting with folks personally on the ground?
Well, every day I am on the ground going. I always represent Northeast. I always go to church in Northeast every Sunday, etc. I sing in the Roman Catholic Church in Bolio, and also I go to the Vietnam Catholic Church as well. And the other areas, I also bail a road going on to Molyneux Bay down there. They call it Jolan Bay. I built a bridge there all by myself.
I know exactly what you're talking about. So I know personally that you have been, and still is a hard-working community person, and I really appreciate you sharing your experience as it relates to your studies and stuff with us. But one of the key things as a politician that is required, of course, is your manifesto. Do you have a manifesto that you can, in a nutshell, give us a synopsis as to what you intend to do should, in case you become the parliamentary representative for your constituency, and by extension as a member of parliament?
Well, basically, we have what we call the 12 points. And number one thing we're saying, bring back agriculture to Grenada. In that way, we will be able to farm all the uncultivated lands, bring back the nutmeg and cocoa industry to where it's supposed to be. Then, in that way, create agro industry that will not waste any of our produce. Right now, all our produce, our fruits and vegetables, 90% of them have been spoiled. So the fact is, what are we doing as an independent nation? The revolution has brought us forward, and these two parties have brought us backward. Transportation is another area that is very weak, and definitely will have a public system of transportation. Also, concerning the Racing Club, they have done tremendous work to other people. Many times they give every year feed the old people, going to their homes, etc. Also brought in a library.
Right. So the agriculture is one,
Yeah.
and
Agro-industry.
agro-industry,
And transportation.
transportation,
Very significant.
and
And then, of course, we will, in 6 months' time, change the constitution we have, because we don't have a constitution. We have a confusion. The basic thing, our constitution consists of 3 branches of government. Ours does not. Ours consists 2, 2.5 or 1.5, not 3 branches of government, because no branch should overlap another. In our constitution, one branch overlaps over the other, and that is a disgrace. For example, one of the branches have no authority whatsoever. We have seen, if you look at England and America, all of the branches, at least hands, all of them have their independence. But here, when we look at the executive, we don't have an executive, we have a messenger for the executive, and that's a disgrace. We need, by having one branch to be buried, another branch unto itself, cause chaos, and that causes dictatorship. That's why we are suffering so much. The people we put in power are not doing what we want to do, what they want. And unless we have a constitution, things will never get better.
okay. So with the change of the constitution, I would think that 6, you said 12 points. 7th will be what?
Well, basically, the thing is very elderly, definitely, and impoverished. We're supposed to increase their monthly allowances.
Monthly allowance.
Definitely for them, at least 300 for the time being per month.
Anything else that you want to add to the manifesto that you have?
Well, the manifesto, we have plenty. I say, like, we'll have a ferry from Carriacou to Grenada. Maybe a few trips per day, whereas the people in Carriacou, their goods are much more expensive than those of Grenada. We'll try to have it equal. Whether I go to Carriacou or Grenada, the price should be the same for the individual products. So this is one of the things we want to obtain, and I do hope that, and one of the things again, like people go to politicians for jobs, this will be abolished. This will never be honored. What will be done, we have a center, we call it a job center, and basically anyone who wants jobs will go to that center. So basically we'll have one per parish, and in that way you go there and you get what jobs according to your qualification, not to the politician. When you go to the politician, that's corruption, and it goes on here like something like a cup of tea, and I don't think the politicians really understand the gravity that it is. Because if that happens in another country outside England, America, these politicians will be jailed. But all people accept it as something good, but it is not.
Okay. Well, I think that you have covered a lot, Mr. Washinton. I must say that you have a full plate. Hopefully you'll have a full slate as well, because you want to ensure that you have 15 candidates. And I know that you're working hard to ensure that you have that covered before the election. Anything else you want to tell us before we wrap up?
Well, that's basically mostly what I would like to say. We'll have, and the politicians, the retirement benefits that they take will make it, will abandon that. Unless all 7/7s receive a pension, politicians will not get one. So we'll abolish it immediately upon entering government. It will be equality for all. That's one of our objectives.
Okay. All right. So I think Mr. Washinton Edwards, of course, no stranger to the political arena. He has been here since 2003. I know that you have listened to him on MTV, you have listened to him on 104.5 Love FM as well. But I think he has made it very clear his intention, what he intends to do if he becomes a member of parliament, and of course a parliamentary representative for his constituency, and he will serve Grenada by extension. So, Mr. Washinton, I want to thank you very much for coming into on the challenge. I hope that we will be able to see you again and to hear some more from time to time. The Challenge is a production of General Services of Grenada. General Services of Grenada, since 1987, also produces The Challenge magazine, the only 8.5 by 11 full-colored glossy 32 pages magazine on this island. Look out for the special Christmas publication. Also, the Heartbeat of Christmas television program starting November 1st on this station. And not forgetting 104.5 Love FM coming back soon with a bang.